Right, hello everyone, and welcome to the GCOR pre-race interviews for the Canadian Grand Prix. This week we're going to start with Gcor. Obviously, Saudi Arabia, your third race of the season now after missing the first couple. You qualified down in P7, finished P2, but then got a penalty to take you to P3. How do you feel like your weekend went, and do you think you deserve that penalty?
To start off with the penalty, yeah, thoroughly deserve the penalty. I'll be honest. There's no defending myself there. I just missed my breaking point, hit Smudge. It was a tiny tap, but as you saw, the chain reaction afterwards with Smudge hitting Hurricane, Foop getting Sid Kofa, getting sent to the walls, Beast Mode DNFing. I mean, yeah, that's 5 seconds. I'm grateful for that, to be fair. But anyways, yeah, the weekend itself, Saudi, it's known to be a weekend where we struggle, at least in the GN7 team. Last season, same thing, we struggled. We qualified P6. This season, we qualified P7. And both race weekends, it was basically a comeback drive where we needed a little bit of luck. We had to stay out of trouble. Race pace this weekend, like the weekend we just passed at Saudi, was all right. I mean, there were times where I was catching up to the rest of the pack. But as I said, we managed to get our podium literally by staying out of trouble. I mean, Sid Kofa, he managed to make an overtake on us. We couldn't even defend. We were that, he was that much quicker than us. So at the end of the day, I'll take it. Good points. Another podium. Yeah, the penalty is frustrating, but really I can't complain. Grateful it's 5 seconds, nothing more, to be honest. And yeah, we move on.
Yeah, thank you. Now, as you spoke about him so much, we're going to move on to Sakofa. Obviously, you got P2 this weekend or last weekend in Saudi. You won the race last year. Do you think without the incidents and the damage, you could have won the race this year?
I mean, honestly, from all the chaos that was happening, there's like really two outcomes. So, if Coward wasn't there, honestly, I think I would have had that in the bag because everyone would have got penalties. But what else? I mean, obviously, I thought I was gonna DNF twice because, of course, the wall incident. I was just like, okay, did not expect to be wall riding, but I'll take it. And then my teammate broke my rear wing, so then I thought I was out of contention there. So I don't know. I had good pace from what I'm seeing. It was just overall I don't think I could have got for the win, but maybe if I got lucky.
Thank you. Now we're going to move on to Charlie. Obviously, this is your first season in a big team, obviously at Ferrari, fighting for potentially the constructors. Now, how do you feel like your season's gone so far? Obviously, you're sat in P7 in the championship, but it's very wide open at the moment. How do you think you're going to do as a driver and as a team this season?
I think that my goal at the start of the season was to help Dyna win a championship, but in some races I've been quicker than them. I think Saudi Arabia I missed. Japan, I had a weird glitch issue where I couldn't race. The only real race I've done was Australia, where I got some solid points. So I think if I actually practice the circuit and actually put some effort into it, I think I can get high up in the drivers and hopefully try win the constructors.
Thank you. Now we're going to move on to Peter Plays. Obviously, you've been racing in GCR for quite a few years now. You have only turned up once so far this season. But do you think that you can start building on your form from previous years and start fighting for consistent points?
Well, to be fair, I am unsure if I'm able to contend for some points, but I am just willing to do my best, I guess. It's just kind of what I want to go for, just points. Because like if I'm unable to contend for a championship, I guess I'm just gonna go for the points. Because like if you think about it, every single one counts. Constructors, you gotta take those positions.
Okay, thank you. Now we're going to move back on to Charlie. Obviously, at Ferrari this year, you want Dyno to win. Well, you want to help Dyno to win the championship. But where do you think it's achievable for you personally as a driver if you can keep up with the pace you've had?
I think my pace has actually been quite good, which I was quite surprised about. Like being on control, there's obviously difficulties compared to the wheel drivers, and especially with Canada this week, it seems that I have some decent pace, which I was kind of surprised about. But I think in the drivers, if I can get top 5 and maybe consistently try aim for third or like the podium, I think that'll be a good season for me.
All right, thank you. Now back on to Chaconas. Obviously, Saudi up and down weekend. The championship, as we keep mentioning, is wide open. And now you're only 9 points off the championship lead. Do you think that it is possible for you to fight for the title this season?
Everyone keeps on bringing that question up. I think you asked it as well last weekend. Personally, as I said, it's obviously nice being in the championship fight and championship conversation, but honestly, nah, I don't think so. I know on paper it looks like 9 points. Obviously, 9 points, that's nothing. Especially 9 points separating. Was it the top 4? Anything can happen. But honestly, with the general race pace that we have, it's unrealistic. Not at one single race I can say that we've been the out and out fastest. Even the first 2. We've only managed to get podiums because of luck, and we've stayed out of trouble. So if nothing changes, don't expect me to be fighting for the championship for very long. With that said, what we've done so far looks to be working, staying out of trouble. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe we might start to, be a little bit quicker at the next few races, but I'm just focused on developing the car, improving as a driver, and hopefully, if we can't do it this season, we can challenge next season, hopefully,
Thank you. Now on to Sokofa. Obviously, your home Grand Prix this weekend. Expectations from your side of the garage must be very high. But do you think that there's going to be a good chance of a win, podium, pole position at this circuit? Or do you think that just finishing your home race in its first year on the GCR calendar would be a good result?
I mean, main goal after Australia is just no DNFs. Trying to get. I mean, my consistency is good. I'm just trying to perfect it. Pace wise, I haven't done too many hours in the simulator, so I mean, I have pretty good pace. I mean, I didn't do that much practice for Saudi, and the boy got P2. So hopefully one of those can happen again. But obviously, Canada, a different race surface. Home race, I'm not really feeling that much pressure. I mean, me and Red Bull, we just go into a weekend, expect a half decent result. Top 5 is what we usually aim for most of the weekends, and that's what we usually get. So I don't see anything too big happening.
Yeah, thank you. Now back on to Peter Plays. Obviously, we've only seen you once this season. It was in Singapore where you did DNF, but you did qualify P8 above some big names like Coward and Lando, who have had some history in GCOR. Do you think you can keep repeating those feats this season?
I am unsure really about it, but really, I can't speak. What's gonna get me there, I do not know. So I'm just gonna keep what I'm doing, and if it's working, I guess I'm just keep doing it. And if it's not, I'm gonna try to look for windows of improvement.
Okay, thank you. Now on to Charlie. Obviously, we've had all these new rule changes around team owners and how everything's going to work with teams for next season. Now, do you feel like, obviously you want a top 5 finish? Do you think you would rather have your own team, or do you think staying with Dino at the team he chooses and keeping that solid teammate partnership to battle for championships will be better for you?
Depends how the rest of the season goes, but as long as me and Diana have a good relationship, so as long as that stays intact, I'm happy to stay with Dinah until anything bad happens or miscommunications, falling outs and stuff. But yeah, I'm good with Dinah for now.
Thank you. Now on to Sokofa. Obviously, you're the Red Bull team leader. If this regulation change stays the way it is and you get to keep Red Bull, obviously Beast Mode Sam hasn't been turning up properly as you think he would be as such a great GCR legend. Do you think that you would like to keep him on for the next season if you had the chance to stay at Red Bull, or just keep him on as your teammate? Or do you think you're already going to be looking to change that up potentially for next season?
I mean, with how the driver market is right now, I'm pretty sure most people are confirmed with some organizations, and for me personally, at Red Bull, I feel like I take most of not priority, but most like importance, but not like a greedy importance, more like just I gotta be hitting my marks. So honestly, he's just been spending a little bit more time in the simulator, trying to help him out here, there, give him setup guides and strategy guides. So I'm fine with where he is right now. I don't think he needs to be pushed as hard as people would think due to like attendance, but I see where he is, and I can see that as former GCR, what's it called, legend as you would put it. I think that I could probably help him out to like a much better level than he currently is at now.
Yeah. Now on to Peter Plays. Obviously, from your own words, you don't think you're going to be fighting for consistent points this season, and if you did, it would be a great success. Now, if you had the choice of the best driver in GCR you think you could have as a teammate, what team, what would that be, and what kind of reason would it be for?
Um, my brain is on one brain cell right now, so I'm unsure if I understood everything correctly. Um, I don't know. So, like, which teammate I should be? I think, not should. I think I could be having. Well, I mean, if Osos once returns, I guess maybe he can, come back as a teammate.
But in that case, we'll move on to Chaconaz. Obviously, new rules. You've been at Merc for a long time now, or at least GN7 as it's always been known, whether it be Porsche or Mercedes. So how do you feel like, obviously Genius Nature's got the overall call, but do you think because of these rule changes, you could have the say in your teammates and what team you're driving for, or will you still leave that up to Genius?
The way we've run GN7 racing has been the same for quite a while now. Obviously, Genius, since he stepped back from racing, he's been like the big boss man, since he stopped being my teammate on track. So obviously he's got the main call, but I've got quite a bit of influence on that, and what type of teammate I would like. Would I like a teammate that's quick, that would challenge me to titles, at least in previous seasons when I've had the pace to challenge for the titles? Or would I like a teammate that's willing to, at times play the team role, be the number two driver, and guide me? But obviously, the situation that we're in right now, we're not in a situation where we can fight for the title. At least, I believe we're not in that situation. So the teammate, the teammate for next season, it could be anyone really. I'll be honest, especially in this situation.
Yeah. Thank you. Now we're going to be back on to Charlie. Obviously, you had previous history at McLaren, and obviously Ferrari and McLaren have quite a big rivalry previously in F1. Now you are clear above them in the constructors this season. How does that feel to jump from ships from a team like McLaren, from one legendary team to an even more legendary team, probably the most iconic team in Formula One in Ferrari?
To be honest with you, I have really good respect for Lando. He brought me into the F1 McLaren team, and was always like a good mate. And obviously moved to Ferrari. It's a rivalry in terms of F1, but to be honest, me and Dinah just want to be at the top of the constructors, drivers. The aim is to win.
Okay, thank you. Now on to Peter Plays. Obviously, you've been at Alfa Romeo for 3 years now, I think it is. Do you see yourself staying there in the future, or do you see a move potential on the cards?
Well, I could maybe to stay at Alfa Romeo for like at least one more season, and then kind of see if I should stay or not. If there's any seats open, like next season, hit me up. Yeah, that's all I'm just saying. Uh, yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Let's just wait until next season.
Yeah, thank you. Now we're going to end with Sokofa as it's your home Grand Prix. You're going to have the crowd behind you. Are you going to be out there Thursday and after the sessions on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with them? Or are you going to try and be inclusive and spend time with family back in Canada?
I do most of my things for my loyal group of fans. So gotta respect them. I like my fans, so I'll probably be spending most of the time there. But obviously, gotta make time for family. But then also, gotta make
Yeah.
some time for sim time. So it's all about balancing it.
Of
Hello, everyone. This is the second part to the Gcor interviews, and we're going to be interviewing Hurricane today. So, without further ado, let's get into the interview. Hurricane, how's your season been so far? Obviously, you're leading the Drivers' Championship for the first time in your Gcor career. How has the season gone for you?
Yeah, I feel like it's gone pretty well overall, but we have had a lot of stuff happen out of our control, which has been frustrating. In Australia, I was caught off guard by there being no formation lap, and we got punted off by a car from behind, and I tried to save it, but I couldn't. And then last week at Jeddah, we had a new guy wreck me about 1,000 times and and I was involved in a big wreck that I literally couldn't have avoided. So yeah, there's been a lot of stuff out of our control, but we've done what we can and we've maximized what we can do. Definitely in Singapore, it stings a little bit because, if we took soft tires at the end, we probably would have won that. And if the safety car didn't come out, we would have probably won it. So, we could have had two wins out of 4 races so far. So I'm proud of the team, and we showed we have speed, and I think we can go win this weekend at Canada if we do our best.
Yeah, that's very true. You and your whole team actually have done a brilliant job leading the Constructors' Championship, 1-2 in both in the Drivers' Championship with yourself first and Sarek second. And no, that leads me nicely onto my next question. Do you think you can win this championship? You're definitely a challenger, surely.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, I don't want to set myself up for failure, but if we eliminate the stuff that happened, I mean, well, we can't really eliminate it. It's not up to us. If I just had stuff out of our control, and I think we could have been leading by a lot more. So I think if, we just execute on all fronts, I look back to qualifying at Jeddah. If we just put one more lap of fuel in it, we qualify second compared to 6th place. And that would have kept us out of all the incidents we're in. So if I can qualify up front, keep the car clean during the race, and we execute on all fronts, I don't see why we couldn't.
Yeah, very true. That was definitely a very chaotic race at Saudi Arabia. And who do you think is going to be your nearest championship challenger this season?
Obviously, Cyrex looks really strong. I think it's gonna be. I mean, Cyrex has looked really good. I do think we're a little bit faster than him overall, but I do think he's good. I'm not saying he's not. I just think. I think he's gonna get to me though. I think we'll have a good battle, and definitely lost a good amount of points to him at Singapore. Well, not a good amount. We lost a little bit, but I think he'll definitely be battling me, and I think Dino could be in it if he cleans up some of the mistakes.
Do you think Coward's in this championship fight?
The only reason I didn't say him is because the first races, he had lag issues, and then I know he wants Jeddah, and obviously he's really fast. There's literally no doubting that. I just think I don't see why he couldn't come back. The only reason I didn't say him at first was because some of the stuff that, again, it was out of his control. So I think he can't contend for it, but hopefully his lag issues can go away, and he definitely can. Yeah.
Yeah. For his sake, definitely, and for the sake of the neutrals' point of view, for a good championship, definitely.
Yeah.
How is the team spirit and the team atmosphere inside Alpine? Obviously, this start has to be not only one of the best for Alpine in the history of Gcor, but one of the greatest starts of all time in the Gcor season. So, how's the atmosphere within the Alpine team? Yourself, Cyrax, Midget Matt. How's it going?
Yeah, I don't think it can get any better than it is right now. Obviously, we're disappointed about the stuff that happens outside our control, but we know that we've done our jobs to the best we can, and we're maximizing everything we can. So we're extremely happy with the car we have, the chassis, and just everything we have. And we built a whole new fleet of chassis for the season, and they're working really well for us. So we think we've maximized the regulations, and we think us as drivers are doing the best we have ever in our whole career.
Yeah. Do you think you can win the Constructors' Championship now? And who do you see as your biggest rivals in the Constructors?
Yeah, I think we can win it. I'm not sure, if Sark is going to be able to stick around the next half of the season. Obviously, we have a contract with him. If he doesn't, he can go to Williams. But if he's able to stay with Alpine, I would hope he can, because we're winning it right now. And I know Matt's going to be fast, but he's going to have to warm up to the new car and everything, and it may take a little bit. So I think if we're able to keep Sarks on 100%, if we get Matt on board, it just depends how fast he learns. And I think our biggest rival are probably going to be, I don't know. Mercedes, even though they've struggled a little bit, I think they're pretty good. Like, execution wise, they may not have the fastest car, but they can finish the race well because of other people's errors. And I also think Ferrari's looking pretty good, so probably one of them.
Fair enough. That leads me on to my next question with Midget Matt. Once Midget Matt comes back, will he definitely be, number 2 driver to you, to yourself?
I don't really like the number 1, number 2 stuff. I would say we race it out, and I mean, if there's situations where we need to do it, then we will. But if we don't have to do it, sorry for all the noise behind me, by the way. But if we don't have to do it, then we won't. But I mean, if it comes down to a situation where it defies the championship, then probably. But I don't like doing the number 1, number 2 stuff.
Yeah. How was the race? Saudi Arabia. How was the race at Saudi? I know it wasn't, the best, your best race. It wasn't the cleanest race weekend. Obviously, it was very chaotic with, Alpine getting a 4-5 and yourself finishing P5. So how was that race for you, Saudi?
Yeah, I mean, we got at least my side of the garage. We got our wing taken off 3 times, 2 by the same guy, and 1 in just an unavoidable wreck that we couldn't have done anything about, and we still came back to finish 5th. So I think our ability to come back from bad starts is very important, and to get every point we can and just not giving up. So I think we need to definitely start getting back on the. I mean, we've only been out of the podium 2 out of 4 races this season, so I think we just need to consistently get podiums. And I mean, top 5s aren't bad. We got to take the top 5s, but I think podiums are really, really strong, and that's where we want to be every race.
Yeah, very true. Looking forward to the Canadian Grand Prix. Obviously, this is the first ever Canadian Grand Prix in Gcor's history. What's your expectations? Do you think you're going to be at the front battling for the win, or do you think you're going to be, battling for top 5 or top 3? Where do you see yourself at Canada?
Judging off sim time, I think we will be up in the front, but I cannot say we're going to win the race. But I think we will be battling. I'm not going to say we're going to win and dominate the race, but I think we will be in contention for it, and I don't see why we couldn't go and win it. We have a fast enough car.
Fair enough. That's definitely the mentality. Thank you, Hurricane, for being here, for making it to this interview. I hope that you can have a very good race weekend come Saturday, and yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck to Mercedes as well, and you and Ollie if he's returning this weekend.
Of course. All right, we're going to end it here. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We hope everyone has a good race weekend at Canada, and we'll see you for the next GCOR pre-race interviews for the USA Grand Prix at the COTA circuit. Thank you and goodbye.